Gregory.
What's up, man?
I'm chilling, Greg. All right. Your boy Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
It's funny because you're wearing a Hank Lindy, Joe.
Yeah. Hank is a fucking legend.
That was a classic fight, too.
Yeah.
Your boy Terence Crawford stops David Avaneysan in the 6th round of their bout. What was your thoughts?
I mean, to me, it was like I called it a high-speed sparring session. The reason I called it that because Avaneysan didn't approach the fight like I thought he would. You know what I mean? He didn't press too hard in the beginning, and he didn't start unloading until like 3rd round. Crawford was picking his shots, working on shit. From the looks of Crawford's body, it looked like Crawford. I like what Crawford did. I'm gonna tell you why. It looked like he developed a different body type from the strength and conditioning, and he wanted to work on it. He wanted to see what it felt like. So not taking the Spence fight, I see that as smart and also making some money. So he broke him down and he stopped him. He knocked him out with a beautiful uppercut and hook. You know what I mean? And it was like, I mean, what more could you ask for in a situation like that? Because, like I said, if he'd have went the distance with him, they would have been on his ass. If he'd have looked bad, they'd have been on his ass about it. He did what he was supposed to do. He showed his class. He boxed the guy and then stopped him. But like I said, back to the thing about his body, it looked like, because we saw Crawford in camp early with the strength and conditioning, getting himself together. We know Earl Spence is super strong. Everybody know that. So it looks like he was working on something, you know, to get himself ready to fill some shots, catching them off his gloves and off his elbows. You know what I mean? Just to see where he was at with his strength and everything, and see how he felt. And you know what I mean? We see what happened. He already a puncher, but you know what I mean? He wanted to really. It looked like he was working on placing his shots. You know what I'm saying? I like what I saw from him.
Now, there was an incident in the bout, and fans, you know, been on my DMs and comments like, "Yo, make sure you talk about this." Yeah. The gloves busted.
Yeah.
And I heard 2 conflicting stories. I heard a story where the gloves busted and they ran to go get the second pair, because the commission approves 2 pairs.
Yeah.
But they weren't going to put them on until the end of the next round.
Right.
And then I heard a conflicting story that said both sets of gloves busted.
Yeah.
So what was your thoughts about the gloves busting and then Crawford knocking him out right after that?
We all know that these guys get custom gloves made. I don't know how that happened. I can't speak on that. I don't really know how that happened. I did think it was crazy that it opened up at the thumb and like behind the butt of his hand. Like, I thought that was crazy. But I mean, only thing I could come up with, if you look at the material of gloves, it looked like some type of different material. So maybe the material don't hold
like
as
extra shiny, glittery, right?
Yeah, it was like So the material, and it can happen because it's a malfunction simply because we never used this material before. That's what this shit looked like to me. But I mean, I don't know. Was it some type of glove manipulation? I don't know why you would manipulate the glove at the thumb. You know what I mean? When you punch it with the fist. I mean, the only thing you could do with your thumb is possibly poke a guy in the eye. But I don't think that was his mission.
With the Terence Crawford fans, with the Earl Spence fans rivalry, of course, they're going to say stuff like I've heard, he manipulated his gloves, he loaded his gloves, and then And then Crawford's fans was like, oh yeah, Spence got into another car accident on purpose. Like, yo, y'all need to chill.
Yeah.
Nothing about Terence Crawford's career has been associated with foul play.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to assume. And it is David Avaneysan. No disrespect to David Avaneysan.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna do that for I really, when I saw it, at first I ain't believe it. I'm like, what? Like, the glove bust open. But then I also did some math, right? If you ever held an 8-ounce glove and put your hand in it without a wrap, an 8-ounce glove is a small glove. Now, if you wrap your hands, I mean, the wrap fills the glove. So it could have been just from impact. Like when he hit him with the shot, the shit might have just busted. I don't know. Like, the glove was tight.
Should they have continued that round with the messed up glove?
I actually seen a fight where they stopped the fight and changed the guy's glove. I seen that live in front of my face, and I seen it on TV once. Should they have continued it? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know the call. I don't know the rules on something like that. But if they were supposed to stop it, they should have stopped it. But they didn't, and he knocked the guy out anyway. So, I mean, And like you said, he don't have no history of foul play, so it's like we can't really put that on him. Like, yo, make sure my gloves bust open when I put them on. Like what do that? How did that sound? I mean, I don't get it. So it was something that happened. But from my calculations, from seeing the material, it looked like it was a new material. They tried something different, and the shit just malfunctioned. That's what it looked like to me. I don't know.
Do you think he shook off the rust and now is ready for a Earl Spence fight?
I think he's ready for anybody in the world right now at this point. He definitely shook off the rust, though, for sure. Definitely shook off the rust. And to me, when you do the math, and a lot of people don't understand because they're not fighters. The more time a fighter has off, that's more time for him to bullshit and go do other things. The reason fighters like to be active, because that way they feel like a fighter. The more you in the gym, the more you get ready for something, the more you feel like a fighter. When you start taking too much time off, you start feeling like a regular civilian. Nobody likes that feeling when they're a professional fighter. So if it's David Avaneysan that I have to fight, or that they have for me to fight, I'm fighting him. Like, fuck that. I'm not going to keep waiting. If he'd have listen, man, with that fight falling out and he'd have waited some more time for Spence, they might not be fighting until next summer, 23. And he would have been off for fucking damn near 2 years.
The projected date for Spence and Crawford in the contract was going to be February 4th.
Yeah.
I don't have an issue with you taking a fight in December and then you pushing it back to like April, May. I don't care. Like,
man, listen, the shape these guys is in, they in great shape. They dedicated fighters. I believe they still could fight February 4th. I mean, that's how I feel.
As far as the performance schools, what would you grade it?
It was a B+. Because the reason I say that, because Crawford didn't have to show too much. He just had to be smart. And by smart, I mean keep his distance, stay behind his jab, place his shots, and then he end up getting this guy out of there. He did what he was supposed to do. So I give him a B+. I can't give him an A only because you wasn't in there with a top tier guy and you didn't have to pull out all your shit. You know what I'm saying? You only had to use a couple of your guns, and it is what it is.